inaugural Fuel Richer Cup Series. Huge crash on the front straightaway to the line. Martinez to the line.
The chase for the Race Hardline Midwest Powersource Cup begins tonight. 10 drivers are on near equal footing as we head into the final stretch of the season, and what better place to do it than the 1.5-mile Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is in NASCAR's backyard, but by no means does it make it easy. Turn 4 is known as Calamity Corner, and the high banks and high speeds make it a tricky track to drive. Can Daniel Roeper steal another victory? Here tonight, Finian. It's time to go chase racing at Hardline.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone's been put back on equal footing now that the chase has started, and we are now left with 10 drivers eligible for the points. Eligible for the championship.
Yeah, they're all eligible for points, I hope. But there is the standings as they run. Daniel Roeper ahead of Thomas Bresci by 2 points. Obviously, a win gets you a 2-point advantage over the next driver, so Roeper has multiple, and it'll give him an advantage over Bresci. But Adams, Massey, and then all the rest of the drivers basically on equal footing as they try to chase down the one car of Daniel Roeper. But he's so good here, Finian.
Yeah, he is really good here, and I mean, he's been good pretty much everywhere we've been all season. Currently leading the charts in qualifying, just by about 0.07 of a second over Hensley. So it's gonna be close between some of these guys. But again, now it's on. Everyone got set back equal, pretty much more or less, minus a few points here and there, and everyone's gonna be vying for those critical points.
And just like last week at ISM Raceway, we have a couple of drivers returning to the series, and a couple new drivers as well. Dakota Ehrman being one of them. And that number 49 Camaro was new last week at ISM Raceway and is here again tonight, currently sitting 4th in open qualifying with about a minute and a half left. Tyler Sifford in the 98, another driver that got into a little run-in with the 88 of Joshua Adams, who's also here again tonight. So those tensions may boil over into the 125-lap race here this evening. All right, and welcome again. If you just joined, you have not missed a single thing. Just finishing up qualifying right now, and Tyler Hensley in the 46. I don't believe he was there last week at ISM Raceway, so I think he's back and ready to go. He might have been there. If he was very quiet and didn't make a whole lot of noise. So he is back and quick as usual in that number 46 Exalta Camaro.
Gonna practice coming down to pit road, and that's gonna be crucial for some of these guys. We've got a relatively small field, 16 cars here, so we have potential on getting a long green flag run if these guys get spread out. And we saw quite a bit of green flag running back at ISM last week, so could see it here, very much see it here tonight as well.
Oh, look at that Red Bull paint scheme on Bronson Stafford's car. That is gorgeous. You know what I like on that is the font, especially. It looks really good on that car. So Bronson Stafford, another driver we haven't seen in quite some time, returning tonight.
Oh, yeah.
He's been gone for months, and we have not seen this 61. I don't actually believe he was in the 61 the last time he was here, so good to see him returning. Michael Finlayson in the number 14, all out on track as well in that Ford Fusion. He'll be competing. He was there last week at ISM Raceway and didn't have a spectacular... Actually, he had a pretty good day. I think it was P6 or 5, something like that. It wasn't, completely spectacular. You see him getting the wall there just a little bit. A lot of people struggling with the front straightaway and turn 4. And I mentioned in the driver intro there is that turn 4 is known as Calamity Corner. It's a tricky corner, and I think it's because turn 2, you can carry a lot of speed. The banking carries you up off the corner, but turn 4 does not really do that.
No, and also, not to mention the racing line is pretty much up right against that wall on exit, so naturally drivers tend to go there, and sometimes they underestimate, and really that's the problem, is that a lot of drivers underestimate how close they can get to the wall.
All right, as we get ready to grid up and go racing, 125 laps here tonight, Finney. There will be a pit stop or two. So we have that to look forward to, and hopefully we'll get some good green flag running in here as the racing begins.
Yeah, indeed. Again, looking forward to this race now with everyone back on footing, especially seeing the battle between Thomas Bresci and Daniel Roeper. I think the guys' two favorites, really, for winning the championship this season. For this season, I mean, they're the only guys walking into the playoffs with wins and with some bonus points. So. Everyone else is going to be chasing from pretty much naught, while those guys have a few bonus points to play around with.
All right, so 125 laps, and again, the number 1 car of Daniel Roeper sitting on pole. And again, he's absolutely spectacular, and not a whole lot of drivers could touch him last week, but one driver that was quite good and actually impressed me last week was the driver of that purple number 19, Briar LaPrade, in the Twitch car. he was very, very fast at ISM Raceway, and he could present a challenge for Roeper here tonight, although qualifying only 7th on the grid for that number 19. So maybe he's more of a short track fan here.
Yeah, again, we'll have to see how he's going to be able to adjust. And really, that's going to be the thing for all these guys. These guys have to adjust, as this is a day-to-night race. I believe the weather is set. It's usually for these for the Hardline series, it's set to ×2. So we're going to accelerate into darkness here. So this is going to be definitely, it's going to change. The conditions are going to change as we run. You see the track temperature, 80 degrees, and that's definitely going to fall.
Yeah, 80 degrees. The ambient air temp's only 78, though, so the track temp's not going to cool off that much more. It does mean, though, Finian, that the lights will come on later tonight, and of course we love racing under the lights here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. As the field gets ready to go racing, Finian, the challenges of Charlotte, oftentimes during the day it can be used as a multi-groove racetrack. You can see drivers up against the wall down by the white line, but tonight probably see more bottom feeders. Yeah,
definitely, really, the bottom line is pretty much the way to go. In most cases, I think 3 and 4 you might be able to get a little bit more experimental, but definitely 1 and 2 you want to stay right by that white on the inside.
Absolutely. And let's take another quick look at our point standings before we head into the evening. Again, Roeper and Bresci really out in front. The rest of the field on equal footing as they head into the chase. And I believe we got the Charlotte Roval coming up on the schedule here either next week or in a couple weeks, and I'll have Finian check on that for me. But that is certainly going to present a huge challenge, and it is next week. So next week will be on the road course configuration of Charlotte Motor Speedway, and that, Finian, we know is quite the challenge. I would say more so than the oval, and that's going to be a fun one. Hopping curbs and jumping chicanes.
Yeah, and also many lives being taken, or many cars being taken, because definitely that race can go many different ways.
All right, but tonight we only got 4 turns, and they're all lefts here, Finian. 1 and 2, bottom or top, and 3 and 4, bottom or top.
Definitely turns 1 and 2 pretty much bottom. It's really hard to make any kind of moves on the outside. 3 and 4 is really, like I said earlier, really where you can get experimental. You can pretty much use the inside or the outside, depending, again, on how the conditions are, how your car is doing, and really depending on where your opponent is driving. You pretty much want to go in the opposite lane there. So I think most of the passes we're probably going to see in 3 and 4.
All right, the field works their way out of turn number 2. We're going green this time by for 125 laps of racing. The one car of Daniel Roeper on the pole, and that Texamatic Motor Media Camaro alongside the Exalta Chevrolet of the 46 of Tyler Hensley. The 49 of Dakota Ehrman was very quick in practice, but only qualified, looks like 5th on the grid for tonight. So out of turn number 4, the pace car is going to pull off. We'll turn him over for 125 laps of racing. 16 cars on the grid, 8 rows of 2. At Charlotte Motor Speedway, here they come out of turn 4, and Finian, it's time to go racing, chase style. Green flag flies, and we're racing here at Charlotte.
You see that Roeper gets out a fantastic start as usual, and actually Bresci, really poor start. He actually loses 2nd place to who's that in front of him? I can't see the number.
It's the 98 car, Tyler Sitford.
Yeah, who did fantastic last week at ISM. Got a damaged car late in the run that kind of ruined his momentum, but he's doing fantastic here tonight in 2nd.
And look at Briar LaPrade already up 1 spot into P number 6, all the way up to the wall. He's going to scrape it. Look at him going all the way out there really early to be trying that outside lane here, Finian. But I will say, it's going to get harder and harder to use it as the night goes on, so props for Briar for trying that.
And again, this is really where you want to experiment now, trying to find where you can beat some opponents here. As you see Joshua Adams side by side with the 49 car, and that's Dakota Ehrman.
Out of turn number 2, look at the 98 as Sifford tracking down Roeper as they work their way off the 2. Roeper is not pulled out to very far of a lead, and there's the 25 that Corey Bleeven's taking a look to the inside of Cole Paguni. Actually, that's the 4 car of Casey Shue, and he'll take that away.
Yeah, small correction to what I said earlier, that's Shane Terrian in the 38.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the 49 car. 49 car is Dakota Ehrman. The 38 is Shane Terrian. As we work our way now in 1 and 2 again, there's battles going on behind. Look at LaPrade ripping the high line like Larson out there. That's fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely, again, one of the few drivers that's actually trying to experiment with that outside line there. You see Thomas Bresci ahead, securing his place.
And Joshua Adams, not a great qualifying effort for the 88 car. I don't know even sure if he put down a lap, but here he is now in 12th, making a pass on the inside of Bronson Stafford. And he'll take that spot away, but they're going to be side by side down the front straight, and they're going to try to rip it away from each other as they work their way into turn 1. And the top 3 here, Finian, still pretty close. Roeper, Sifford, Hensley.
Yeah, indeed, they are very close together. And oh, Hensley loose off of 2, collects it though.
Wow,
that will try to get back in line.
Scary moment. Thomas Bresci to the inside of Dakota Ehrman for 5th spot, and Ehrman goes all the way up to the wall. And I'm already surprised at how many drivers are really testing the waters out there early. You wouldn't think that'd be the place you want to be with no rubber out there, but they're giving it a try.
Either giving it a try. There you see, speaking of guys using the outside, Briar LaPrade, usually using the outside. Looks like he's going back to the inside now, trying to get on the inside of Dakota Ehrman, but just can't get it done. Bretsy's still trying to fight with the 49 car.
Onto the back straightaway, into turn number 3. We got a battle for the lead brewing up front there, Finney, with Tyler Sifford tracking down Daniel Roeper, and that's not something I've said a lot this season.
No, yeah, again, he's just been one of those guys that's been able to pretty much take off in the rest of the field, but clearly that's not the case here tonight with Tyler Sifford and Tyler Hensley both in tail in second and third.
Yeah, Hensley again started up in the second spot, dropped the spot early, and is struggling with the handling of that car just a little bit. We do have a slow car in turn 1. Bronson Stafford is all the way down to 136 miles an hour. So these guys are fighting pretty hard back there. There's Jared Matthew and Cody Tabor all fighting for 14th spot.
I think you see why he probably slowed on so much. He's got some right front damage.
Oh, the 27 car's going to be up almost into the wall, but he saves it and pulls it off just in time. But Jared Matthew off to a poor start. Back up to P number 6, Dakota Ehrman and Briar LaPrade going. This is LaPrade trying to make a pass around the outside of the racetrack.
Yeah, trying to make that outside move work, but just can't get it done. Again, 1 and 2, very hard to pull that off. I would say his best shot is in 3 and 4, but he's going to draft up behind the 49 car, and we'll see what he does. It looks like he's kind of remaining in behind.
Yeah, an initial practice was showing me that these cars are quite understeer prone here, Finney, and so there's a lot of brakes being used in these cars right now, and that's not really going to affect brake temps as they have adequate time to cool, but you're going to see a lot of shuffling in the braking zones as drivers get hard on the binders, trying to run different lines, and I really do think it's important. If you're going to run the bottom, you have to be committed to it early. It's not... with this setup especially, it's very difficult to get down all the way to the line. And for the lead still, battle between the top 2, Roeper and Sifford, just following each other in their tracks. And that 98 car didn't show a ton of pace last week, was up front contending, but not quite this fast.
Yeah, really, I mean, he's showing some fantastic pace right now. And both of these guys, again, once the tires start wearing off, I think we'll definitely see a battle between these two. I think these guys are a little bit too even. But again, this is something we're going to have to see as the night goes on. Who's going to better adapt to the changes of the track? Yeah,
again, we mentioned the changing of the racetrack, Finney, and in about, give or take 45 minutes, this track will be completely cloaked in darkness with the exception of those big lights around the racetrack lighting up the pavement. And as my great friend Lightning Queen once said, race cars don't need headlights because the track is always lit. Well, it takes a little while to get lit here tonight. You can already see it's getting kind of dark out there. And that's going to be something drivers will be fighting with a little bit later, is the visibility going away just a little bit until those lights pop on.
Looks like, looking back at the 46 of Tyler Hensley, looks like he's pulling off the pace back toward Shane Carrion in the 38. Carrion's been having a very quite solid run up in the top 5 since the drop of the green flag.
See him breathe the throttle at the exit of turn number 4. He's going to look to the inside, and Hensley's going to drop a spot. You can tell Hensley is not comfortable in that race car, and that could be anything from a lack of practice to just not the setup not suiting the driver here tonight. And I think that's going to be the case for a lot of people.
Ooh, but wasn't clear, and Hensley, they actually almost collide off of turn 2.
Here comes Bresci. Does he shoot the gap? No, he backs out of it, but it goes to the inside of the 46 car. Tries to take advantage of the momentum lost from the 46.
Yeah, he's definitely present there, though, but he's kind of boxed in by the 38 in front of him.
This is kind of a vulnerable place to be. There's not a whole lot of air on the front nose of that 24 car, so there's going to be an extreme lack of downforce behind that 38, and especially with the understeery setup, that 46 car has got to be on his toes.
Bresci's going to back off the fight for now.
Ooh, there's an intense battle for 10th spot. Josh Adams, Corey Blevins, and Casey Chu. Blevins was all over the 88 entering turn number 3, but looked like he's backed out now, is under attack from that 4 car.
Chu looking to the inside of Blevins now, goes in back behind. So he's going to give up that fight for now.
And Joshua Adams has not quite made as much progress as I would have thought. I believe he started back in, let's take a look actually, in 13th place. He's only gone up 3 spots, so it looks like passing is a little bit tricky here early in the going. And you mentioned that at the beginning, that it would get easier as the night goes on, but it's also going to get faster as the night goes on. And that could implement its own issues later in the night as the track cools down and the lights come on. It's going to be trickier to pass. It'll be a much faster racetrack, but I think if you want to get your passing done, you should probably do it while the track's still warm. Roeper has extended his lead out to almost 1 second over Tyler Sifford, but the battle right now is from 3rd on back. And there's Dakota Ehrman in the 49 looking to the inside of Tyler Hensley, and Hensley's just going backwards.
Yeah, he's dropping like a rock, and I think it's really, I think he used up his stuff a little bit too early, and now is paying the consequences. Like you said, the setup is, on these guys is really understeering. And I think Hensley's now suffering from that now that the rubber is gone. But here's Briar LaPrade looking to the inside of Ehrman. And Bagunia also in the 7 car, in the FedEx paint scheme, also looking for a pass.
Whoa, a little bit of contact there out of turn 2. The 19 of LaPrade and the 49 of Ehrman. A little bit of side-to-side contact, but no visible damage. Just a little bit of a scary moment there. And look at LaPrade closing back up.
Up ahead, Tarian and Bresci, both of them side by side. And this is for position number 3. Bresci trying to make a pass, and we just saw Tarian go around the 46 a few laps ago, and here comes Bresci with a charge.
Yeah, Tarian is on a charge right now. Started in 4th place. He's moved his way up into 3rd, but he is pretty darn quick right now in that number 38 car, so he is coming forward. Last time by ran a 30.1, and that's one of the faster lap times up front. Meanwhile, we got some other battles going on the racetrack, especially back here. Blevins and Shu trying to cross each other up. This is all the way back here for 11th place. These guys are racing like it's for first.
Indeed, and you guys kind of forming a pack midfield. You see, these guys almost dooring each other off the floor, but here comes Blevins to the inside of Shu. Shu trying to make the outside work.
We'll pull away from this battle for just a moment to take a look at another one. The 24 has gotten around Shane Tarian. I don't think this is over quite yet.
No, I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure Tarian wants that position back.
These guys are still dealing with each other back here, and this is where the trouble usually starts happening, is these drivers back here battling to keep in touch with the pack. And you say pack like it's a Talladega race. It's not, but that looks like how it's racing right now.
Bresci still defending from Tarian. Tarian looking to the outside. There you see the leader, Roeper, passing by. There's Sifford, and there's Tarian loose off of 2. That was a fantastic shot.
Elevator top to bottom, and couldn't quite use the momentum to his advantage because he was driving sideways down half the straightaway, but gonna have to try again and go for 3rd. But I'm just surprised at how tightly packed everyone is here, Finney. Look at this. We got 3rd, 4th, 5th, and all the way back to, that's all the way back, that's 3rd through 10th, all in one pack right there.
Yeah, and it's kind of amazing. Almost looks like a Truck Series race. The way these guys are kind of...
Funny you mentioned that with the new 2019 package coming out in March for iRacing, utilizing the new high downforce, low power package that NASCAR is going to. That'll be an iRacing in March build, and that's going to change how the handling of these cars is pretty significantly.
Oh, Hensley and Bagunia side by side. And actually, speaking of which, that's Bagunia getting around. I was wondering where LaPrade is, and he's also falling off the pace.
LaPrade started in 7th. He was up to 6th at his highest point. He's at his lowest point now in 8th. So he's been kind of hovering here most of the time, but he's about to try to shoot 3 wide between the 46 and the 7, but the hole closes and won't be able to do it.
Looks like he's trying to get to the outside of Cole Bagunia on the inside in the 7 car, and here he comes trying to charge it out of the turn.
And Nick Massey and Joshua Adams looking on from behind, trying to figure out which way to go. And that number 19 car, I think he's the only Toyota in the field, so he's got a lonely feeling out there right now. Oh, 46 car's going to scrape the wall, and this is a very tight pack. Look at it. There's, how many cars are there? 5 cars.
And there's
all in a huge pack, yeah.
They're 2 by 2 wide heading down into turn 3. Adams to the inside of Massey behind. I'm actually surprised that both those drivers are that low in the field, 9th and 10th.
Are we at Talladega? Like, what is this? I'm so confused as to why this track is racing like this tonight, but combination of the conditions and the setup is certainly turning this into more of a draft battle than anything. Look at that.
Yeah, honestly, this is more of what we're going to expect to see next year in NASCAR.
I wouldn't be upset.
No, but I don't think many people would be either. It's really action-packed. Actually, further up with Dakota Ehrman, Tarian, and Bresci. Ehrman's caught up to Tarian, and he's now trying to make a pass on him as Tarian and Bresci continue their fight.
Keep our eye on this battle, and all the 46 car out of control in front, straight away through the grass, and will somehow save that car. And that was a terrifying moment for the driver of the 46.
It looks like no visible damage to his right side, so kept it off the wall, but got mighty close to it, I imagine.
Well, let's watch this from up above. It's not going to look quite as insane from up here, but wow. Through the grass.
And I think what he did there, it shows is a saying, you know, you got to know when the car is pretty much wrecked, when you're starting to be in a wreck. And instead of trying to save it, just put it down through the grass. He's going to lose a little bit of time, but his car is still in one piece.
I think that was the key there, Finney, is if he tried to correct that back to the right, he would have turned straight across the field. That was expert driver control there in that number 46 cockpit, and he kept that car rolling. But let's jump back up. There are still battles all over the racetrack, and battle for 4th place, 3rd place now. Thomas Bresci, Dakota Ehrman, and Shane Tarian.
Yeah, Ehrman getting around Tyrion, but Tyrion's starting to fall off the pace here. But Ehrman looks like he's been saving his stuff and is now picking now to strike. And here's the 88 and the 48.
Yeah, these guys back here have just been ruthless. As the drivers up in front have been swapping spots every once in a while, these guys have been as well. But now Tyrion tries the outside on Ehrman, can't quite do anything with it. Maybe he'll get the run on the back straight and try again. Ooh, Bagunya a little bit loose there out of turn number 2. Now Bresci is starting to pull away from Ehrman and Tyrion as they battle for fourth. Casey Shu down on pit lane. And significant damage to that car. Didn't see where that happened. We got to go back and find what happened to the number 4. Oh, this was down in turn 1. Corey Blevins and the 4 car. Oh, it looked like a little bit of an internet issue there for the 25. I cannot believe the caution didn't come out for that.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's probably because Blevins probably wasn't registered on the track or something because of him glitching out. But yeah, that was amazing. That wasn't a caution.
Look at Roeper out front by over 2 seconds already.
And this is kind of what we usually see. Well, it took a long time to get to this point, considering, again, the package that these guys are running tonight, setup, and really between the setup and the track conditions that has set up this fantastic racing scene. Pratt all the way to the wall.
He's been flirting with that the whole night. He's been all the way up there, and I can't say that it seems to be very fast, but it's certainly not too bad as he's sitting about 1 spot back from where he was. Almost contact with the 88 into turn 3.
Yeah, that was amazing. Again, it's very, very hard to get close to people on iRacing with the net code involved, as we saw with Blevins and Shu.
Yep, Blevins has retired the race car, and Casey Shu now 3 laps down with probably race-ending damage in that number 4 car.
Yeah, but Pratt has been going further and further back to the 80 and 40, finally get around him, so he's just kind of been hanging in there in 9th. And we saw him have a strong car earlier in the run, but I think just using the stuff too much. Here's Ehrman, a guy who we're talking about saving his stuff. He's now been charging up through the pack entirely. Got around Terry and is now trying to work around Thomas Bresci for 3rd place.
Whoa.
And Bresci loose off the corner.
Yeah, he was really wheeling it out of turn number 4. And we talked about it being calamity corner here, Finian. Yeah. Driver's been fighting that wheel all night through there so far.
He's going to keep onto it and he's going to continue to charge onwards.
And that's going to open up the inside to the 49, but doesn't quite have the run to take it. Battle hard behind them between Josh Adams and Nick Massey. They sorted it out, but that was almost contact between those 2 cars. And again, Ehrman and Bresci continue to fight as Roeper and Sifford extend their lead on both. Casey Shu has actually returned to the racetrack. That car is pretty torn up, but any points matter.
Could be worse. As most of the car intact, but here we see Bagunya now to the inside. Actually, he's getting passed by Adams on the outside, and actually Bagunya is straddling the white line. So he's
he's coming down to pit lane right here.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to come down pit road.
And I think probably premature pit strategy here as he gets it down to pace for pit road speed. I think this is just fuel strategy in play already here as the battle for 3rd continues with Bresci and Ehrman.
Trying that outside, trying the inside line. Bresci sticking to the outside. And this again, we're seeing different drivers take different lines, and we talked about, you can't make a pass of a guy's running the same line. You got to try something different.
Oh, whoa! That was very close together there on that corner exit. They pulled away from it just as they almost made contact, but Terry probably got a really good look at that. Full right on board.
He's got a fantastic view here of this battle for 3rd, and I think he's just kind of waiting in the wings to see what happens. Actually, he's taking an interesting line through the corner. Actually gained a ton of momentum on the 48, 49, and the 24.
You see the sun setting now, Finian. It has dropped behind the grandstands. The whole track is in shadow. If we take a quick look at the temperatures here, the air temp has actually dropped a degree, so the track temp is soon to follow. And it will drop pretty quick once that sun is gone from the sky. And now we continue for 3rd as 24, 49, and 38 are lined up 3, 4, and 5 with Roeper still out front now almost by 3 seconds. Field day for him out there right now.
Yeah, pretty much so. I mean, he's now working to the outside of Dakota Ehrman. Ehrman's stuck on the inside, and looks like Ehrman's kind of lost the steam he initially had.
Ooh, Terrian's trying the upper lane, and we didn't think, at the start of the event, we didn't think that was going to be much of a way to go when the 24 scrapes the wall there on the exit of the corner. Are we 3 wide? Almost tried it there for a second.
I think he definitely thought about it. I think, again, we were talking about earlier with the tires. I think earlier in the run, the bottom line was just so dominant with the fresher tires, but now, once these guys have lost grip, they have to kind of search for it. So we're seeing some guys taking different lines. You saw Tyrion Terry's been taking an interesting lane, entering high and then chopping it down low, and he's been gaining a ton of speed. Here comes to the inside of Bressi.
Yeah, I had a big understeer there and wasn't able to get the car rotated and push the 24 up the racetrack out of turn number 4. Bressi's really struggling with that tight race car, almost in the wall twice in a row as Ehrman tries to track down Terry and try again. And the upper lane beginning to be more feasible here. I'm surprised by this, honestly. I didn't think this would happen. Oh, the 38 protected on corner exit there. He's going to go defensive here down the back straight. And the 49's going to roll that outside lane.
I think definitely the hardest thing is going to be to enter in low. I think that's probably the last thing I want to do, and actually Terran's going to come into the pits here. This is an interesting move as he's going to slide.
We've lost Fryer the Pratt as well. I'm not sure. It doesn't show him that he's made a pit stop.
Might have been connection.
Yeah. So that 19 car who had a great week last week at ISM Raceway, not so good this week. Here's a battle again for third. These guys have just been relentless. And Finian, you gotta tell me, when you're in a battle like this on an intermediate track, you have options to get around a guy, but I feel like that makes it more frustrating when you try other lanes and you still can't get by.
Yeah, I'm more of the guy that kind of just sits and kind of waits for things to happen. Instead of racing the car, wasting your resources, just kind of wait to see how a battle plays out. Unless I'm extremely confident that I'm going to make the pass, I'm probably just going to wait, let an opportunity present itself, save the car for later.
Did you hear Bressi's engine here, Finian? It cut out all the way through 1 and 2. Let's ride on board here for a minute.
Oh, yeah, he's turning the car off. Interesting. So some fuel strategy here in play. And actually, let's ride on board with Dakota Ehrman. I'm kind of curious if he's doing something similar.
Look at the difference.
Yeah, 2,000 RPM. So
yeah, so for those that aren't quite sure what's going on, take a look at that dashboard. You see that yellow bar making its way across the bottom of the dash. Watch me get down to turn number 3 and watch what happens. All the way down to basically idle. The engine is off for all intents and purposes, or at very least he's got the clutch pressed all the way in and disconnects the engine from the transmission. So basically what he's doing is keeping those RPMs down. You see the 49 lose it in front. There's a little bit of chaos around him.
Oh, and hello, here comes here comes Adams and Massey.
Yeah, so basically what the 24 is trying to do is save that fuel by keeping the engine RPMs low and reducing the strain on the engine, and it's going to save him a lot of fuel. So this is an interesting strategy. We don't normally see this because it slows you down quite a bit. Last time by, actually ran a pretty quick lap last time by, so he's somehow making it work. Whoa, 3 wide for the. This is going to be for third spot. Pagunia, actually, he's a lap down.
Yeah, remember, he pit, and he's on significantly faster tires than these guys. These guys are running about 2 seconds a lap slower compared to their best time, so that's just kind of showing the tire wear here, and that's why you're seeing Pagunia just blow on by.
So Joshua Adams takes over third place. They're side by side for it right now. And the 48 car rolling the outside, following the 24 on through. There's a couple Hendrick-looking paint schemes all together right now. But I'm so surprised that they're trying to make that clutching maneuver work. I mean, that's a rare thing. You see now Adams pulling off. Oh, he got loose, actually. I thought he was going out of pit road.
He's really slow.
Oh, I think he might have tried to go to pit lane and then bailed out. No, is he out of fuel? No way.
So let's go in the car, because yeah, he was...
Oh, he is.
And also, wait,
Caution.
Hensley.
Caution.
Hensley on the outside of him is also...
I think that's stage break right there, Finney. The stage is lap number 40. So they were trying to make it to lap 40, and that is the case. Well, does he still have engine power is the question. No.
Yeah, he's pretty much just kind of coasting on...
I don't think he's going to make it. He's going to run out of fuel here, Finney.
He's going to have to hope for a friend to push him.
He better hope, otherwise he's going to be stalled on the racetrack. You see fuel immediately coming down to pit lane. Or drivers that can. Look at Daniel Roeper. He was on he on before the caution is the question.
I seen that the car pick up and down. I think he's out of gas here.
Yeah, he might have to take an EOL for that. And Bressi was saving the fuel. Look at where he is now. He's out front leading because of that fuel saving.
Yeah.
That is heads up thinking. And also Massey explains why he was probably hanging out in the rear to save fuel as well. So that was a tight moment there. But Thomas Bressi outsmarts the field and picks up the lead here on lap number 42.
Also curious, where is the 46? Or sorry, the 88. I was not the 46, and there he is.
He's getting a push now. They're from Cody Tabor. Completely out of fuel.
Yeah, again, and Adams now is a lap down compared to the rest of the field, so that's the price he's gonna have to pay for that.
And that's a silent ride right there inside that 88 car. Look at that line of cars all heading down the pit lane. So here comes the rest of the field onto the pit lane, and it looks like Bresci in the number 24 will be the first one down. And Massey, of course, and Dakota Ehrman, all drivers that made this work. They're going to go around the slower drivers of Cody Tabor and the 88
is he out of gas? He's out of gas.
They're all out of gas.
Yeah, you can tell when the car just starts lurching forward that it's on its last legs of fuel, and Ehrman looks like he's barely going to get to his pit stall.
But Bresci was in and out safely, although there was a position change on pit lane. Nick Massey is your new leader, and Daniel Roeper will likely have to serve a EOL for pitting before pits were open. So that's going to hurt the one car, although I don't think with his speed it's going to be too big of an issue.
Yeah, we definitely seen that Roeper is going to be probably the most consistent of the bunch here tonight, so I think really that speed, he's just probably going to play the patient game, let everyone kind of go ahead, use up their tires, and then drive on around.
Well,
later,
the other thing to keep in mind is that he wasn't the only driver to come down when pits were closed, so he's going to be ahead of all the drivers that were behind him that also came in when pits were closed. And also, what else is peeling off? And he's going to come back in again and top off. Why not? So Massey picks up the lead in that number 48 Chevrolet, and Bresci will hang on to second. The rest of the field comes back in, and there is the 88 of Joshua Adams, one lap down now. And hopefully he's not going to get a wave either here. Unless he's free pass recipient, which I don't think he was in the position for.
Yeah, he went a lap down after the caution came out, so unfortunately he's going to have to wait for another caution to come out. And speaking of cautions, besides the stage caution, obviously no wrecks or anything that I got close a few times.
Yeah, well, Casey Shue and Blevins definitely crashed, but didn't trigger the yellow flag. So both those cars are retired. Briar LaPrade, we're not quite sure what happened to him, and Michael Finlayson in the 14 disconnected, and we hadn't seen what happened to him.
Yeah, he left pretty early in the race. I'm sure probably ran into some problems. So unfortunately, he left early. But we still got 12 cars on the track, and 9 of them due to this interesting scenario with a lot of drivers. Were struggling on fuel, not making it back. So we got 9 cars left on the lead lap, and also lights have come on here.
I was just about to try to find a camera that shows it. There was right on board at the 48. There they are. The lights are on. And while we're under caution here, Fernando, I do want to take one moment to mention that next week, I believe Tuesday night, we'll be premiering the brand new 2019 updated SimTV graphics package. That'll be out on Tuesday night. And that will be with the Track Midwest Cup Series. They will return with Mazda Miatas Infiniti. There's going to be a whole lot of them. We'll be at Lime Rock Park on Tuesday night.
Yeah, apparently they have so many of them that they're actually running a qualifying event because they have 70 entries into for that series, and there's not a single track on the servers that can fit all 70, so they're limiting it to about 40-ish.
Yeah, no, they're going to allow 62. But
okay.
the problem is that Lime Rock Park is just over a mile in length, and they did the math. If they were to load that server with all 62 cars, there'd be a car every 128 feet, and that's if they were equally spread out. It's going to be a wild one, and tune in on Tuesday night to see the brand new updated SimTV graphics package. Spoiler alert, it looks pretty similar, but it looks a lot cleaner.
And hopefully your computer doesn't crash.
It will. It's going to. But time for a CPU upgrade. If anyone wants to donate, we have. You can check out our website, simtvbroadcasting.com, and there is a donate link there. You don't have to, but I'm kind of joking. But at the same time, we're about ready to go back racing again here at Charlotte. Nick Massey, Thomas Bresci, Hensley, and Matthew and Ehrman round out your top 5. 12 cars left remaining, and we're on lap number 46 of 125. Out of turn number 4, coming back to the green flag. Nick Massey leads them down, and it flies again.
Again, we're seeing a completely different order than we saw at the start of the race. The 48 now leading the field, and everyone up at the top of the field getting spread out single file. And there you see Matthew falling back like a rock almost. It looks like he's trying to get out of the way some of the faster drivers going around him.
This is a very vulnerable moment for Daniel Roeper. He's going to get through this cleanly as battle for the lead out right front. Right now, Nick Massey and Bresci side by side for the lead out of turn 4.
And Massey keeping that high line, hits the wall though, and here comes Bresci with a massive amount of momentum, as well as the 46 of Hensley. Also looks like he shot out of it again.
201 miles an hour by leader Nick Massey off into turn 1. Down to the inside, the 24 car of Bresci tries to fight back. Tyler Hensley tucked in there as well. Where's Daniel Roeper? He's P5 right now in the middle of a big battle.
Yeah, Roeper trying to get around a lot of the other drivers, and there he's leading a pretty big pack. Also behind Tyler Sipper. Seen a lot of since the drop of the green flag. And they're still fighting up to the front of the field. 3-way battle for first.
You see the shadows becoming now from the inside of the racetrack from those lights and not from the sun any longer. The 24 is going to cross him over. Here he comes to the inside.
And he's got to run here. He's going to be pretty much inside him here as they head off into 3. It looks like Massey actually might give it to him.
Oh, not quite. He's going to drive around the outside of the quarter panel, try to take the air off the spoiler. Battle for the lead continues. Nick Massey will just barely hold on to that spot on the outside of the 24 as we work our way to the start-finish line.
Yeah, 203 that time I saw on the telemetry, and it looks like he's not going to be able to hold it. Bresci now is in the lead.
Well, he might try to cross him up out of turn number 2. The 24 slides up the racetrack, and will Massey be able to return? He's going to stay tucked in behind for now.
Yeah, he's also got to worry about that 46 right on his tail, so Massey can't really do too much. He's got to be careful on his moves.
Out of turn number 4. Let's ride on board with Nick Massey. Watch that speed climb. 190, 195. Will we get to 200? 201 miles an hour again before slamming on the binders and getting down as close as you can to the inside lane. It seems like it's very difficult to get there tonight. '46 of Hensley looks to the inside of Massey now. You know what? Finian Massey has not quite had the pace he's had in seasons past this season. Seems like he's been quick, but not consistently quick.
Yeah, again, last season he was on a dominant streak towards the end of it and had a lot of good runs. But this season we've only seen a few good runs out of him.
Bronson Stafford to the outside of Cole Bagunia. This is battling for 7th right now. Bagunia back on the lead lap after losing a lap prior to the caution. Bresci, Massey, Hensley, and Ehrman now top 5. Actually, Ehrman is not tucked in. He's right here. And the car that you're seeing 4th in line is actually Joshua Adams, who's in the free pass position right now.
Oh, yeah. Adams and Carrion right in behind. Both those cars a lap down after running out of fuel. So both those drivers trying to look to get their laps back. But here comes Massey now to the inside.
Battle for the lead once again out of turn 2. The 48 and the 24. The iconic duo. The 48 just got a nose inside, but he's going to have to give it again to the 24 as they make their way into turn 3. And Bresci will hang on for the lead. I noticed that Roper's been stuck in 5th for quite some time. He might be on another fuel-saving strategy or just kind of hanging out for now. Maybe not pushing the issue really in the run. You know who is pushing the issue, though, is the 88 car. Adams is trying to get himself back on the lead lap.
Yeah, again, he wants to make sure he's in the free pass position, but again, he's fighting with the 38 for that spot, and they're both nose-to-tail. Actually, they were nose-to-tail, now separated by Tyler Hensley in the middle.
You see Hensley throw a block on the 38 of Terry in there, and I think that was just a... You know, kind of stay out of my battle right now. I think Hensley's probably a little bit upset that he's trapped between 2 lap cars and the battle for the lead is right in front of him.
Yeah, looks like he's actually kind of losing out his carry. Now looks to the inside of him.
And I think he's better off just letting him go at this point and fighting the good fight. And battle for the lead continues as Bresci and Massey dogfight out of turn number 2. Will Massey take a look?
Looks like he's got just a little bit of a run, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Will he try to dive? No, he's going to back off. Guys are still going to be spread up. Look at him charge up mid-corner.
He's going to use that charge and corner exit, get to the inside of the 24, battle for the lead again, side by side at the line. Who leads? It's going to be Massey by an inch.
That was so close. My ticket is not going to even display the gap. And they're still side by side as they head off into 1 and 2. Looks like Massey's just going to ike ahead, but does Bresci get the run off the corner?
Bresci thought about doing the crossover there, but was still outside, didn't get clear. I think if he had cleared himself, he would have dropped down to the inside, but he'll take the fight back to the outside line in turn 3 and 4. Side by side for the lead for the last couple laps. Will they do it again?
Yeah, I think guys, I'm curious if they realize that there's a lot of laps left in the race. The way that they're driving, but it's fantastic stuff here. They're still side by side in 1 and 2. Ooh, and Bresci getting very close to the wall off of turn 2, and again still side by side as he's going to try to break free. And again, this is going to be very hard to do with these tires. And I think we saw this in the run that these guys are just so close on their tires that it's hard to break away.
And look at these lap cars just kind of sitting back here, chomping at the bit to get back by as the leaders continue to fight. And this is the battle for the free pass position right here is Adams and Terrian. Each of them wants to be in front of the other, so they're not going to give it up easy. They're side by side now as well.
Yeah, so 2 separate fights, the battle for first and the battle for the free pass position between Adams and Terrian, and for the lead between Bresci and Massey.
Glad it all fits in one camera shot. Now lap number 58. The laps are ticking off quite quickly here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Not a super long race here
behind the battle for 4th between the number 1 car, Daniel Roeper, who's finally found himself getting back up towards the front of the field, goes to the inside of Ehrman. Ehrman not going to put up much of a fight.
I think the leaders are looking in the rearview mirror and seeing that dark gray number 1 car and saying, okay, we got to get going and get out of here. And Bresci and Massey have now single filed out. And maybe they'll try to run away a little bit and get some distance between them and Roeper, but it's going to be pretty tricky to do that. You see the 88 of Adams. He's now cleared Shane Terrian, and he's going to try to work over the 48 of Massey. Now, if he can get around that 24, it means he won't have to utilize the free pass. He'll just get to go around and catch the field again if another yellow comes out.
Yeah, problem though for Adams is that the 48 is his teammate, so he's got to kind of decide if he wants to screw up the fight between his teammate for the lead or whether he wants to get himself on the lead laps. I think he's probably just going to sit in the third for now and just try to defend from Terrian. But they got now the 1 of Roeper right behind, who's been catching these leaders, especially since they've been battling side by side for most of the time.
Yeah, I thought they'd get in line and work with each other, but that doesn't seem to be the case as Massey drops down to the inside and tries to steal it back away out of turn 2. The drag race down the long straightaway here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. You see the big TV there in the background as we drive right on by it. Now the 48 and 24 side by side again. And they're still trying to work each other over. They're going to be dead even coming back to the start-finish line to work over lap 60. The 88's got a great view of this, but here comes the 38 back to the inside. Again, this is the battle for the free pass spot, and they're not going to give it up easy, even if the 1 car, Daniel Roeper, is coming. We know Roeper has to be careful. He's got the quickest car here by a mile. He just needs to keep himself out of trouble.
Here he comes to the inside of Terrian, trying to take away that spot. There he goes on by. So one last car. Yes, he also has to get around Joshua Adams, just up ahead. And Terrian still to his outside.
You can hear him out there. And Terrian's not going to give it up easy. But Roeper needs to be persistent here. He's already used up quite a few laps since the restart here. Looks like it's been almost 20 laps since the restart. He's not gotten back to the lead. So passing seems to be very tricky tonight. And if Roeper gets buried in traffic late in the race, he might not have enough time to recover. Cars roaring off of turn number 4, and Massey closes again on Bresci, who might see another battle for the lead here in a moment.
It looks like a lot of these guys now starting to enter just a little bit higher than they were before, and then turning it down low towards the white line, exiting, getting a late exit off.
This looks so much like what we expected the 2019 NASCAR package to race like, and this is with 750 horsepower, not the 550 that's planned. This is so bizarre. Yeah. I've never seen these cars race like this ever.
Yeah, it's definitely, again, this pretty much looks like these are the truck, or I have the physics of the truck cars. Truck cars?
Truck cars. There's a term.
Of the truck series. Pretty much driving like it, and it's been fantastic racing. You see the 1 now of Roeper go to the inside of Adams, trying to push him out of line.
He almost cleared himself off the nose of the 88, but didn't look like Adams was going to have any of that. And you see the 88 drive in hard into the corner. He does not want to give this spot up easy.
Yeah, and again, this is him trying to help out his teammate Nick Massey just up ahead, trying to keep Roeper in line, but I think Roeper's going to have the better car. He's going to pretty much clear Adams off in the 1. There you see the clearance, and now Roeper's going to set his sight on first place.
So it's taken about half a run. Remember, the fuel run here about 40 laps, more like 39. So it's taken Roeper half the run to go from, I believe he restarted back in 6th or 7th up to 3rd. So that's a long time to make these passes, but he's back where he needs to be. And if these front 2 continue to fight, I think we'll see Roeper in the lead here in no time at all. Look at this battle.
Yeah, battles all over the place between drivers lap down and not a lap down.
Side by side for second. Now Roeper in. Bresci's in hard. Drifts all the way up the top of the racetrack. And here comes the 1. Maybe trying to take 2 in 1 corner. He's going to be side by side with the 24 and the 48 down the back straight.
Yeah, Roeper now in second place, just getting ahead of Massey. Massey backing it off, and Bresci trying to charge in to make sure the 1's not alongside. But Massey now side by side with Roeper.
We're 2 by 2 like we're at Talladega, but we're in Charlotte, guys. I don't know what's going on. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, Roeper now to the inside of Bresci. Will he have it as they head off into 1? And we just seen Roeper climb up through the field very slowly and methodically, but here he is now fighting for the lead, and I don't think Bresci's got much for him.
He tried to clear him, and he couldn't quite get it done. Bresci will fight back on the outside, but I don't think Roeper will be able to pass him into turn number 3, but Bresci slips, and that's going to give the 1 car a slight advantage, but now the advantage swaps back to the 24 as they work way off of turn 4. That outside line will bring the momentum, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
I don't think it's going to be either. Roper's going to be able to charge in hard into one to try to clear it. Bressi, and there he seems to charge in. Does he have enough? Bressi trying to hang on to the outside. Can't do it.
Crossover.
New leader.
Gonna try the crossover again. I don't think he's gonna get the momentum here, though. Not enough. New leader, Daniel Roeper, out up front once again. It only took him, looks like it took him 23 laps to get that done. So certainly tried pretty hard. And there is now Bressi trying to shove it back down to the inside. Not gonna be enough once again. And Roeper reclaims his top spot as the 24 and 48 now have to fight for second.
Yeah, notably too, we are about 20 laps into this run, so we should see pit stops in about another 20 laps, as we saw last time with people running out of fuel on that 40. So halfway through this stint, and these guys got to still continue on these tires, and I'm amazed that Roeper is able to still keep up speed after driving his way up to the front of the field.
Whoa,
now
whoa!
He'll be able to break away as Massey's spinning sideways through the grass. He saves it.
Wild ride for the 48 car, up and over the drain. Does he save it? He does. He's going to lose a lot of spots there, though. Disaster for the 48.
Yeah, just lost all that progress, everything, all the strategy that got him up there has now put him back in the field. Hasn't lost too much time, but it's enough time to take him out of the battle momentarily.
Well, the other thing to keep in mind here, Finney, is if we have green flag pit stops with everyone running so close, it's going to be difficult to get to pit lane without being in the way or getting rear-ended. So drivers have to be on the radio calling out that they're pitting if they don't want to have trouble.
And I think also
whoa!
Darian now was also in the grass, and he's slow into one.
Yeah, that was a big slide for the 38 car. That was even bigger than Massey's, although he didn't spend quite as much time in the grass. And this has been, we've seen this 3 times tonight. Wow, look at him. Look at inside that car wheeling it.
Fantastic save. That could have been a lot worse. These guys have done a fantastic job saving it off the course.
There's about 4 crashes that haven't happened that we're about to.
It just shows the talent in this field.
all 3 that did that are all together now, but now we might have a caution.
Darian will join them. He'll be the last car in the group of drivers here.
Bressi trying to hang on to Roeper, but this is going to be a hard challenge to overcome. Roeper's just been so quick and so consistent at every track we go to. And not that Bressi hasn't been, but it just doesn't seem like anyone can take the challenge to Roeper. I'd say the only chance that they have is to get him stuck in traffic. That seems to be where Roeper struggles.
Yeah, again, we're just kind of looking at the bigger picture. Honestly, I see this championship falling down to a battle between these 2 guys, Thomas Bressi and Daniel Roeper. And Bressi is only 2 points behind Roeper, but again, he can't afford to finish second to him every single week. He's got to try something, and again, we still have a long way to go in this race, so he's got to try something.
0.4 of a second back right now, but it's going to continue to fall. Let's take a look at the times across the line. 30.301 for the one of Daniel Roeper and a 30.375 for the 24 of Thomas Bressi. So that 24 car a little bit slower, a little bit more off the pace than the one of Roeper, but we're starting to run out of time here in this run. Take another look, about less than 10 laps until we get to pit stops.
And now, again, this is going to be a big call for a lot of these drivers. As for some, it's going to be almost the last stop of the race. And actually, if you pull that stint graphic up one more time, we're about 30 or so laps in. I would say probably for the green flag run, probably more like 28 laps into this run. And if you do the math, so they're going to pit into what, about 10, 12 laps?
Yeah, they'll be able to make it, I think.
Yeah, it'll be kind of close. Because remember, they were running out of fuel coming to lap 40. They pit lap 85. That's 40 laps to go. So.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, so this is going to be, it might be getting a little bit interesting, and we might see some more fuel saving.
That's right.
Oh, car is spinning through the grass. I think that's Tarian.
It's Tarian. Yeah. Wow. He saved it. I mean, very slow, but he saved it. And this is going to be the same situation that caught him out a couple laps ago. And wasn't able to save it this time. Oh, we got into the wall off of turn 4. That was a save. I'll give him that. 9.5 out of 10. I'll take a half up point for the wall contact.
They never really went sideways, so yeah, definitely they kept the car relatively straight.
What was I saying?
You're trying to run math through your head.
Oh, yeah. The gears were turning quite slowly. Jared Matthews officially retired the car 10 laps ago. 10 drivers left in this race. Bressi scrapes the wall out of turn 2.
I think this is Bressi just trying to push the car and hold the tires that he just does not have. Again, remember, he spent a lot of time fighting with the 48 of Nick Massey. He's actually moved himself back up into 5th place.
here's a guy that we haven't talked about in a little while, Tyler Sifford in the 98, up to 3rd place now. And running a very nice, consistent race. Remember at ISM Raceway, he was the only guy that was able to track down Roeper at all. And maybe later in the race, we're running out of time here, but maybe a little bit later he could take the challenge to that 1 car.
Yeah, definitely. So both those guys, Roeper and Sifford teammates.
We'll take the challenge quite nicely to him and ask very kindly to take the challenge to him. Shane Terrian on pit lane, and this is kind of a long stop here, so it's probably going to be to fix most damage, and I'm curious to see if he'll get back out on the track.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have to come in again at least one more time until he's just a few laps short of being able to make it to the end.
Sifford battling the 88. Remember, Joshua Adams in that green and black 88 car is 1 lap down. He's still trying to get his lap back and wasn't able to do it, especially after Roeper took the lead away, but he's trying to keep himself ahead of, well, I think the only driver he has to worry about now is Shane Terrian. He's now 3 laps down. So, wow, look at the Sifford. The Sifford? Look at the 98 clearing himself off the nose of that 88 car.
I gotta say, one driver is probably not happy with the way this race is going. It's gotta be the 88 car right behind, who's been waiting for a caution, but has just not gotten it, and I don't think he's gonna get it at any point. We're down. I think Terrian might be pulling it into the pits, or he's just gonna spend a really long amount of time.
I think Terrian's night's probably over here.
So we're left with 9 cars here, and I don't think we're really gonna see a caution much soon, because everyone's kind of spread out here a little bit. Not a whole lot, but I think compared to the way they've been running, it's pretty spread out.
You see there's a gyro cam on board the 88 car. Lots of banking here, Finian, but I think the problem with it is that much like Texas, it drops off very quickly. It's not a very smooth transition. I think the ones that have great smooth transitions are tracks like Kansas, Chicagoland, Las Vegas. Those tracks have a much more gentle transition. The quad ovals, like Texas, Charlotte, Atlanta, those tracks drop off so quickly that it really throws the car off balance, and that's why you see a lot of drivers getting loose.
Yeah, it's just such a violent shift in the weight of the car that it just really, like, we see why drivers get so loose like that, and a lot of drivers have been able to save it and really keep it pointed straight, but again, with the fall off in the tires, it's really leading to these guys spinning later in the run. We're on lap 82 coming to 83. We're going to see pit stops within 5 laps.
Any moment now. Less than that. It'll be a lap, maybe 2. They're going to be on down. I'm surprised we haven't seen anybody come just yet. They're really trying to stretch this.
Actually, speaking of stretching, let's start on board with Bresci. He's clutching it in again.
We'll run on board inside.
And we'll keep an eye on the RPMs. No, actually, looks like he's running normal, so...
Off the gas for quite a long time, though, so he's saving a little bit, but not like he was the first run. Now, I'm curious, though, what we're going to see. I mean, really, it's 40 to go next time by, 41 to go. So I think, we got already one on pit road here. Joshua Adams gives up 8th place. Come on down. And I think we'll see the rest of the field come on very, very soon.
Yeah, again, I don't think these guys can make it too much longer on their fuel, so we'll see now a lot of drivers starting to peel off. Roper's going to stay on another lap, and here comes Bresci just ahead of Sifford. Wow,
yeah.
There's barely any room to
him. He's in hot. Does he get it wound down? He does. And so Bresci's the first one to come to pit lane. And remember, also the undercut possibility here. We're running about 2 seconds slower right now.
And again, this is what Bresci needed to do. He needed to do some kind of strategy on Roper, but again, he kind of runs the risk here. He's got to go 41 more laps. So... it's going to be kind of tight with that 24 car, but we have seen him fuel save before.
Well, and keep in mind that the drivers right now that have 42 on their board, as you see now the 1 car coming in, those laps were under yellow.
Coming in.
So Roper has 40 laps, and that was as many as you could go. So the 1 car is in, and Massey follows. Tyler Hensley, Dakota Ehrman, and everyone else is going to come on in now.
Yeah, I would say you're kind of a fool if you stay out. And actually, speaking of which, Tyler Sifford is still out on the track. I'm kind of curious if he's going to have enough gas to make it back.
I think he might have topped off. Yeah, he topped off right before we went back to green. Oh, he's clutched in.
That's a smart move there. I'm kind of curious if it started to sputter. Let's run on board and see him coming to the pits. Let's see.
It's all clutch right now. He's coasting. The car is not in gear. Well,
he is flirting.
These drivers are playing with death here tonight. Where is Bresci is the question. That 24 car, is he going to get around the 1? And he might get around him here.
He's going to have a lot of momentum. Let's ride on board and see him blow. Try to blow.
Oh, already did. He's gone. Thomas Bressi takes the lead away from Daniel Roeper, and he's going to have a pretty significant lead as well, over a half a second, as we come now under 40 laps to go.
Yeah, now really, this is pretty much turned into a fuel strategy race because these guys are borderline on fuel. I would say, honestly, they might be, some of them might be a lap or two short here. So we'll see as the run goes on who decides to save later. Here's Tyler Tipperden, and again, he's the last guy to pit out of all of them.
Okay, Cody Tabor is slow on the apron there. I think he's just getting out of the way. Thomas Bressi, okay, here's the thing. He's the least good on fuel of anybody in the field right now, but here's what I'm going to say. He's in the wall there. If any driver is going to be low on fuel, I want it to be the 24, because he seems like he's the best at saving fuel, especially with the speeds he was running while clutching in earlier in that first run. I think this is the guy to do it, and he actually gained some time on Roeper, and Roeper doesn't need to be quite as conservative.
Oh,
caution!
And they just threw all that out the window. Where is the caution?
Bronson Stafford on the front straightaway. Caution flies, and there goes the strategy. Now, do we pit?
Yeah, that is a good question. Honestly, I don't see why.
Oh, this is a pretty hard impact here. Here is Bronson Stafford out of turn number 4. Looked like he was trying to maybe... Well, he actually hooked the apron, gets tight out of turn 4, hits the wall, and around he goes.
Yeah, try to save it. Hard.
I think that's the difference, is we saw drivers earlier not attempt to save it. They just went through the grass. The 61 tried to save it and ended up in the wall.
And again, that's the thing with when you try to save it on an oval, is that the wall is right there to the right side. So if you turn right, you can try to save it and keep going, but you run the risk of hitting the wall. And unfortunately for the 61, he found the wall.
We're out of more than the gyro cam here on this car. You can see how violent this impact was. Everything looks fine. Looks fine, and then boom.
Realize he was tight. You can't really do much, and then try to save it hard into the wall. You see the left front actually come off the ground. That was how hard he hit.
That'll more than likely be night over for the 61 car.
Yep, we'll back out to the drivers, and we'll see.
And pit road they come.
Wasn't much of a strategy call there. Honestly, I would have thought that maybe one or two of these guys might have decided to stay out. And I guess, I mean, they could have honestly, just by running under caution, probably could have saved enough fuel. But I mean, I think these guys are probably just trying to play it safe.
The one guy that's really thrilled about that is Joshua Adams in the 88. He'll get a lap back.
Yeah, that worked out nicely for him, so he'll be back fighting with these guys.
And the question is, where does the 1 car come out in relation to the 24? 24 is rolling. Here goes the 1, and the 1's going to beat the 24 off a pit lane. And that was huge for Daniel Roeper to get himself out in front of that 24 car.
Also solid pit stop from the 48. Nick Massey put him back in the fight.
Look at the time. It was a 14.3, and that was as good. Actually, the best driver on pit lane was Tyler Hensley with a 14.1 second stop. All right, well, tables have turned. Joshua Adams is now your leader.
I'm sure he's probably going to come down to the pits.
We're about to find out. Might as well throw something at the wind. I mean, he's going to be at the rear of the field here. I mean, you might as well throw something at it. Tires are only a couple laps old. I don't think they're 7 laps. He's going to come down.
I think he probably didn't want to put himself at a disadvantage compared to everyone else behind him. Also, it doesn't hurt. He kind of needs to. He was one of the first guys to come down to pit road before Bressi, so I think he's just trying to make sure that he's also good on fuel.
Well, we are 90 laps into this race here tonight for the Race Hardline Midwest Powersource Cup Series Chase Race number 1 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And the first 90 laps, we've seen a couple strange things, Finney, and I think one of them is the racing style tonight. Looks like we're at a super speedway.
Yeah, it is not something I thought of at all. I don't think anyone really watching this would have expected this kind of racing. I don't even think some of the drivers expected this kind of racing. It's just really uncharacteristic of this type of track. And like you said, it's really more accustomed to super speedway racing or racing in the truck series, where because of the aero shadow, not aero shadow, just the amount of downforce this car have and the little power that they have. They kind of almost pretty much pack race at every single oval that they go to, besides short tracks, obviously. And that's the style of racing we're seeing here tonight, which is pretty much, and you never see that, and we're supposed to see that with this new package in 2019.
You know, as much as everyone is complaining and going ho-hum about the new drafting pack, or, well, I shouldn't say drafting package, the new aerodynamics package that NASCAR is bringing, I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised with how it races in iRacing. It's going to look a lot like what we are seeing, just maybe a little bit slower. And maybe a little bit more controlled. I think drivers are struggling with the handling late in the run due to the tire fall off, but the night has fallen officially here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The lights are on, the intensity is picked up, and we're just over 30 laps away from finishing this race out and crowning a winner for the first round of the chase. And Roeper is sitting in a great spot to extend his points lead if he just keeps doing what he's doing.
Yeah, this is probably not what Bresci would have wanted at all. I think, you know, going into it, I think he pretty much had strategy set in play to get himself ahead of the one, and then got to deal with it from there. But I think this has kind of put him down at a disadvantage.
I love racing under the lights at Charlotte. Look how pretty it is out here.
Yeah, especially with some of these paint schemes, the 46 and the 48 especially, those metallic paint schemes, they look absolutely amazing under the lights.
Yeah, 46 especially, that is a great looking car. Trying to see if I can get a better image of it. And Massey's car too. Alright, well, we're down to 8 runners here. Well, 8 lead lap runners. And Dakota Ehrman is actually the last one on the lead lap, which is surprising to me. But Bresci and Roeper are now going to be your leaders. And Bresci's going to have to jump on this. If that one car gets out front, it's game over. Bresci's got to be aggressive. And we're about 33 laps to go. Coming to the restart. Green flag back in the air here at Charlotte.
That wasn't the best start from Bresci, though he's going to still be there. He's got to clear at least Nick Massey to the inside, and he does. By a pretty long shot, but still side-by-side mid-pack.
Tyler Hensley going to try to take advantage of the outside of Tyler Sifford off of turn number 2. And he's going to use that run. But Bresci's right up on the rear bumper of Roeper, but he's got to get around him quick and make something happen here, else that one car is just going to drive away.
Well, I'm sure he knows that definitely that's going to be the situation here. I think he's going to try to make the most out of these newer tires and try to make a pass on the one as soon as possible.
Cars fanning out a little bit. Sifford dropping a few spots. Remember, he was 3rd prior to that pit stop sequence, so he was having a pretty good night, just like he was at ISM Raceway. Had a poor result there because of some contact with Joshua Adams. Those drivers still a little bit hot with each other, and they're quite close on the racetrack here, so we'll keep an eye on that battle too. Yeah,
Adams trying to move up through the field. Just got around Dakota Ehrman, now trying to go to the inside of Cole Baguni in the 7. Baguni not really having the best of nights. Has been kind of straddled in the lower half of the field. It's currently running in 6th.
Baguni has not had a fantastic night tonight.
No, yeah, he's been really quiet and not in the good kind of way.
And he's now the meat and the sandwich of Sifford and Adams. That's not a place you want to be.
Oh yeah, and there's Sifford now getting to the back bumper of Tyler Hensley.
Battle up in front of them here for 2nd.
And here comes Nick Massey. This is not what Bresci needed, but this is what Massey needed as he looks to the inside. Finally put himself back in the fight after sliding off of 4.
Daniel Roeper out to a 6/10 of a second lead as the rest of the field is 2 by 2 by 2 by 1 behind him. And the 24 and 48 need to get themselves sorted out. Here comes Sifford to the inside. Are we 3 wide here?
Yeah, we are 3 wide. And this is going to be interesting as they head off into 3. Who's going to give way? And none of them do.
Neither of them. Okay, Massey's going to back out.
That was a very smart decision on Massey's part. He's going to fall in right.
Yeah.
Here comes Baguni on the inside of Massey. There's a lot. There's a lot of action going on here.
I don't understand how this car is. I gotta think it's they're running a night setup, and it was during the day. But you think it would race like a night setup at night?
No, it's not.
I don't know what's going on.
Something's screwy here, but it's fantastic.
I love it.
And Hensley now looking to the back bumper of Bresci. It looks like he's going to try to move himself into 2nd as well as Sifford. Now both these guys fighting up front.
How does this happen?
I have no clue. Just don't question it.
All right. Not complaining. Wow. The car just slotted into a hole I didn't think was there for a second. Ooh, 46 car way up against the wall. And you know who's loving this right now?
Daniel Roeper.
Yeah, driving away. 1 second out front.
He was able to break away from this pack, and no one else from it is able to break away from the pack. So this is definitely a perfect situation for Daniel Roeper. He's now a 2nd ahead of Bresci as they're still fighting for 3rd place. As he's trying to get himself back into 3rd.
We see the 46 kind of bobble there on corner entry. Looks like he's been struggling with the handling this all night. He's gotten a handle on it a little bit and was able to kind of get himself forward, but still does not look comfortable at all inside that race car. Look out the windshield of the 7 car. Ooh, a little bit of wall contact there. Picks up some right front damage.
This is not really where you want to this is not really where you want to get damaged, because this is where you're going to need the car the most. to perform the most, as everyone now is on their A game now, as it's pretty much a sprint to the finish.
Yeah, we'll be at the line. 25 laps to go here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Wow, look at Begunia all over the rear bumper of that 88 car, but just in front of them, Hensley and Massey fighting together. That is to be for 4th spot. Sifford and Bresci in front of them battle for 2nd, as Roeper out to a 1.2 second lead and growing now with 25 to go.
Pretty much everyone's watching Roeper pretty much get away from them. There's really nothing they can do.
Look at them, they're stepped out sideways like a fighter jet formation. Each one on the quarter panel of the other. It's so bizarre.
Yeah, these guys have done a fantastic job. They're racing. These guys have been playing with inches all night long. They really haven't given each other much room. And very little contact, actually, between cars.
I don't think we've seen any car-to-car contact other than maybe the first 5 laps.
Yeah, other than between Bleevens and Shu. That was really the only case of car-to-car contact, and that was really due to netcodes. That was server-related, not even driver-related. None of these guys have really hit each other.
Wow.
They've only hit the ball.
Sifford and Bresci got mighty close there on a turn 2.
We might definitely see some contact in these last.
Oh, there's going to be. We're not done yet. It ain't over till it's over.
Zipper now to the inside of Bresci as they head off of 4, and Zipper now coming out of the dark as he's been kind of quiet in this middle part of the race.
Where's Massey gonna go?
I think he's gonna go whichever lane's moving forward to see Bresci charge into 1 on the outside.
Battles in front, battles behind. Out of turn 2, where does Massey go?
Oh, he's got a good run. Does he look to the inside, follow Zipper through? No, he's gonna stay behind Bresci. You see not much, no threat from behind. Actually, Massey notably, he's taking he's arcing the corner late. You can see the car stepping out sideways.
Trying to keep an even eye on everything going on here right now. Look at the 98 clear himself off the nose of the 24. Bresci not going to have any of it. Charges in, but I think that is going to be all she wrote for 2nd spot. For
and by doing that, he gave up a lot of momentum. Here comes Massey with a huge head of steam off of 2 and into 3. He's going to be able to make the pass. Yep, there he goes.
Easily makes that pass.
But he's going to get very close to the wall.
He just chucked it in there. He didn't care if he made the corner.
And I think that he's going to...
Oh my goodness, that was awful close there.
Yeah, the touching quarter panels there. I was going to say Massey kind of screwed himself by charging into 3 like that. I let Bresci go back inside and they touched mid-corner, almost ended with a wreck. There's, I think, probably the first case of car-to-car contact.
This is mental. I don't understand.
Fantastic job by both those guys not getting to a wreck, but I think the battle is definitely not over between those 2.
They almost just hooked each other straight into the safer barrier at 190 miles an hour, and somehow they didn't. I don't remember what driver was out in front, but whatever they did, they hooked it left hard enough to not get turned into the wall. Oh. Wow, they were still battling. Dog fight between the 48 and 24.
Pretty much like in real life, yeah. when they hit at each other.
Crossover again here. Look out, guys.
Yeah, Massey gets ahead of Bresci. I don't think Bresci's got the run to really do anything this time. By a tap from Adams.
He's spinning, crashing. The 88 car hard into the inside wall, up on his lid. Barrel rolling in turn number 3. Slams the safer barrier with the bottom of the car. Caution out with 20 to go. And that was all that she wrote for the 88 car. And that is such a shame for Josh Adams. And that was bound to happen at some point.
Yeah, that was a wreck. That took an entire straightaway to happen. It started with a bump from the 88 of Adams to the back bumper of the 46 of Hensley.
Yeah, here it is again.
TV3.
Well, we'll watch from this angle first. They actually might got a hit from a Begunia from behind. Wow, a huge impact. Ehrman somehow might have missed that. Let's ride on board with a couple drivers here. I think it's going to be important to ride on board with Ehrman. And you see the 88 hit the 46. I think he's going to back out right here. Begunia gets into the rear, and yeah, watch this.
Woo! Wow!
We gotta watch that. We have to watch that from inside too. That is the camera shot of the year right there. Wow.
Oh man, he got very close to just destroying the 88. Was able to just narrowly avoid it. And here now looking from the camera on top of the front straightaway. They see the tap, and Adams backing out. Begunia didn't realize that, had nowhere to go, and hard lick from the 88, and both those cars are pretty much totaled.
Wow, huge impact, and then that was proper disaster for the 88, and that's 100% going to be race over for him. But hits in front, and then he's going to get hit from behind here. Oh man. And hits the wall with the bottom of the car. That's not really a crumple zone, so I'm sure that hurt inside that vehicle, but Heading back live now with the caution out. We have seen pit stops, Roeper, Sifford, Massey, everyone going on and off pit lane. And we'll reset them now, probably with 15 or 16 to go.
Oh man, it's gonna get spicy here. These guys are gonna pretty much have fresh tires, and they're gonna be pretty much pack racing to the finish.
We're not done wrecking yet, I don't think.
Oh no, I think we're far from it. As you saw, the 48 and the 24 was get involved themselves. They were narrowly able to avoid the caution, although if they kept going at it, I think they would have been the caution.
Yeah, well, that was some spectacular racing up to that point. Obviously, Josh Dedham's going to be pretty upset with the results of that. But again, that's a chain reaction crash where Adams got in the back of Hensley and had a jam on the brakes and not turn the 46, and then he got hit from behind. Bagunia couldn't see any of that, and that's what ended up with that crash.
Looks like Cole Bagunia's still out on the track.
Yeah, he didn't get a whole lot of damage. I mean,
that car is pretty damaged, but yeah, I definitely think he'll be able to make some laps.
I thought it was worse than that. So
yeah. So again, we'll have to see if his car is able to get up to full speed compared to everyone else.
He's going to come on down and fix some more, I think.
Very young.
Somehow got it down to pit speed.
Impressive job there. So we're going to try to fix up his car for this last run. Now, this is probably going to... Actually, no, I'm not going to say anything.
You should.
No, I'm not gonna
Whatever
say
you say, don't say it.
I would have said it if we had less laps to go, but I think we got more than enough.
Oh, yeah, we're not done yet. All right, well, again, let's keep in mind here that next couple things coming up on SimTV. We should also mention, not only do we have a new graphics package coming out next week, we have a lot of exciting things coming to the channel and to other channels in the near future. Again, the Spec MX5 Challenge starting at the end of February. There's going to be a test session. I will actually be streaming some of that practice prior to the Track Midwest Cup race on Tuesday night. I'll be just as a test for the graphics package. I'll be streaming that on SimTV, so you get to see a little preview of that. As well as we have 3 Wides development series coming up in a couple weeks. That's Xfinity Cars, I believe?
Yes.
And that'll be on Sunday nights.
Yes.
And then Tuesday's going to be Track Midwest for a couple weeks, and the Fuel Host Venom Cup Series returns to SimTV next Tuesday. Not this coming Tuesday, the Tuesday after that. And Finian and Andrew Cardinale will be the hosts for that race at Daytona, as I will be doing the Track Midwest Series race. So we'll be doing 2 races on Tuesday, February 12th. So that's going to be fun, and we got some other stuff coming. Outsiders Racing League starting in March. There's all sorts of good stuff coming to SimTV. So keep yourself subscribed and hit that bell and, you know, buy the merch. I'm just kidding. We don't have the merch out yet.
Yeah,
but
keyword is yet. Hopefully soon.
Yeah, but some fun stuff coming up. So bring back the mustaches. I don't know if we should do that. They're sitting on my windowsill behind me. And,
well, I threw mine out.
I have some.
I mean, they don't look good. That one really couldn't.
We'll keep them for the next Darlington race. All right. Out of turn number 4, Roeper, Sifford, Massey, Bressie, Hensley, your top 5. There's only 6 cars really left in this race. Maybe 7 if you count Cole Bagunia. Out of turn 4, 15 laps to go to decide a winner. Roper's been dominant. Can he hold on for 15 more laps? Green flag flies again.
And Roeper gets a fantastic start over Sifford. Sifford, not that great of a start. And Roper's already building a lead as they head off into 1.
Yeah, that was not a great start by the 98 car, but in all fairness, he hasn't really had the opportunity to start there yet tonight, but got himself rolling into high gear now, and the 48 and 24 side by side again. They have just been magnets tonight.
Yeah, Massey was actually running Bressie up the track and has lost a lot of momentum now. He's getting passed by everyone. German looking to the outside, and Hensley in behind.
I think this is where our battle's going to be, is around Massey. We'll keep an eye out here. That is Dakota Ehrman. He's on the lead lap, just got quite a bit of damage from driving straight into Cole Bagunia after that damage originally happened on that last caution. So he's got some significant damage, as does Bagunia behind. But now the battle is for third. Bressie, Massey, and Hensley. And here comes Massey to the inside, just going to send it down there and try to get to the door.
He's going to try to push Bressie up the track, but Bressie going to keep it down, pinching the 48, and he's not going to be able to get by this time. Even though these guys have stopped caring about inches, they're pretty much going to each other's panel. And there you see a little bit of a bump, a lot more of a bump.
Oh, he's loose!
And Massey gets tapped from behind.
And crossover, and Hensley's going to drop to the bottom. And here comes Ehrman,
wow,
passing them both and taking 2 spots away.
2 for 1 deal, or almost 2 for 1 deal, as they head off into 3.
Oh, he missed it. He's going to slip mid-corner and lose that spot again to the 48. Man, these guys are driving hard.
Indeed they are, and Massey almost got turned there in 1 between getting a bump from the 46 of Hensley. And that could have ended up badly. But they continue on. I'm kind of curious now, can Bressi catch Sifford in the 98? Who, again, Sifford's been pretty quiet for most of the night. He's now found himself in second place. And not entirely sure if really anyone can catch Daniel Roeper up ahead.
Yeah, that's been the case all season, but the battle is now going to be for second place. Sifford and Bressi. Bressi's been quicker the last couple laps by about 2.5 tenths of a second. So we might see a pass for second at the very least.
Bressi trying to get up to him. I can't imagine this pass is going to be easy. It's probably going to be one of the hardest passes Bressi's made tonight. As now these guys are going to come out of turn 4 and now collect the... come to 10 laps to go.
Might as well.
I'm getting ahead of myself here.
I can see that. Roeper just setting sail. Not a scratch on that car all night. First of all, that's a gorgeous paint scheme. Second of all, he got himself kind of put back on strategy early. He had to come in and serve, actually he had to serve an EOL for pitting while the pits were closed after that first run. Drove carefully through the field, retained the lead after that second run, and is just driven away in the late stages of Charlotte. 9 laps to go as the battle for second heats up behind him with Sifford and Bressi.
Again, Bressi's kind of caught up to Sifford, but just nowhere to go, and while he's been stuck behind him, I think looks like Massey's been kind of closing the gap.
Yeah, Massey last time by was about a 10th quicker than both those lead cars.
Whoa! Hensley in the wall.
He's trying. Give him that much. Oh, loose!
Bressi clipping the apron there. Now that's going to allow the 48 to come back round 3 with these guys.
Absolute magnets, these two.
I'm kind of curious how this is going to go. Last time they were near each other, ended with a bumper from the 48 to the 24. Let's see how this goes this time by. Massey with a big run on Bressi. Where does he go, though, and actually backs off of it?
Won't back off for long, though. We're coming to 7 laps to go, so the time is over for playing games. You got to just get the passes done. You can't be side by side for more than a lap or two if you want to get this done. Here he comes to the inside. Going to show the nose and be alongside the door panel of that 24 as they make their way to turn number 1. 24 up the racetrack. He's going to have the run off the corner and will likely be able to hold on to the spot for now, but Massey's not done.
No, he's definitely not done. I think Massey's just going to continue to try to send it up the inside, try to get Bressi out of line. So that way he can make the pass, but it's going to be hard to do.
He's got a big run out of turn 4. What does he do with it? To the inside. Here comes Nick Massey for third. Almost contact with the 24.
Yeah, Bressi trying to persuade him to not do that. But here comes Massey to the inside as they head off into 1. Neither of these guys are giving an inch.
Drag race down the back straightaway. You might as well enter him in the NHRA at this point. Off into turn 3, the 24 lurches ahead, but Massey does not back out. He retains the inside line out of turn 4. 5 laps to go for the leaders as third place is still in hot contention with the 48 and 24.
Honestly, I would have probably the way they're going the 46 in as well, as he's now caught up, and it's now pretty much a 3-way fight for third place.
Up the racetrack, both cars go. Massey slid a little bit there mid-corner and lost the momentum. Hensley's got to do something with it now. He's got to pass these cars if he wants to get any higher than 5th.
Looking to the outside, trying to follow Bressi through, pinching Massey down to the inside. Massey can't really do much. He can't gas it up, otherwise he'll get into the 46.
Great battle for third here with 4 laps to go. Coming to 3 to go next time by. Roper's out in front by 2 seconds. And looks like we're going to get 1, 2, and 3 all single filed out. Look at Hensley popping out of line.
Hensley now going to the inside of Massey as they head off into 3. Kind of curious what Massey's going to be able to do with this. He looks like he preferred the inside line more as he comes out of 4, almost gets into the wall. And he's going to have a nice run down the front straightaway. 3 laps to go.
He slots in line behind the 24, but carries a run off into 1. Up the racetrack a lane or 2. Hensley tries to get to the inside. Not much there. Ehrman sitting in behind as well. 4-car battle for third. Coming to 2 laps to go. And look at the 24 throwing a block down the back straightaway as Hensley tries to make a pass on both these cars. Massey to the outside now.
Massey looking to the outside. I think he's going to try to build up a run on the front straightaway here and make a pass into 1. Here he comes. Looks to the inside. Goes to the back to the outside.
Fakes him. Inside, outside, inside again. Here comes Massey. 2 to go.
And now Ehrman's caught up in this fight and he had another car to the mix. Hensley now looking to the inside of Massey as they come off of 2. Looks like he's not going to get it done. Massey going to have a run down the back straight. Massey goes to block.
I don't know if it was a block or he was out of control, but it looked like both. To the inside, Massey again. Drives up on the door of the 24, coming to the white flag for 3rd. And behind him, a battle for 5th.
They come across the line. White flag in the air, 1st and 2nd. There's nothing going on. This is where the action is, right here in midfield.
Daniel Roeper has won a lot of races this season, but he's going to come out of turn 4 and collect another one. But the battle rages on for 3rd place, side by side on the last lap of this race. NHRA entries, the 48 of the 24 into turn 3. Massey lurches ahead, but he's going to be in too hot. Slides up the racetrack. Here comes the 24 to the inside. Hensley's going to try to shoot the gap out of turn 4. Who's going to get there first? It's going to be Thomas Bressi in 3rd.
And Hensley gets 4th place. Solid job of him. Massey in 5th. And more importantly, up towards the front, Daniel Roeper is going to... He came across the line at first. I did not talk about him the entire last 5 laps. And Sifford also going to come home in 2nd. Fantastic finish from these guys.
Wow, what a finish for 3rd place. But Roeper collects another victory, will extend his points lead on the rest of the field. Came in here 2 points ahead of the next best driver, which was Thomas Bressi, but out of turn 4 on the last lap. Held on in front of Tyler Sifford and will come home victorious here at Charlotte. He's going to burn it down. He earned this one.
They definitely earned this one. Started out towards the front, fell back after almost running out of fuel, had a pit, took an EOL, drove his way back up through the field, took the lead back, and never looked back since.
He'll collect that checkered flag. We'll talk to him in a minute, but I do want to go back and take a look at that finish between Bressi, Hensley, and Massey. That was a pretty spectacular finish. Let's look at it one more time here and get a couple different angles. And this all started down to the back straightaway here, entering turn 3. Watch the 48 car. He just launches the car in here. Way too much speed for the corner, and the 24 sees that and crosses him under.
He pretty much did a Carl Edwards there at Kansas when charging way too hot, and that ended up costing him not just 3rd place, but 4th place as well, as Hensley was able to beat him to the line by 9,000th of a second.
I'm right on board with Dakota Ehrman because he had a pretty good view of all this.
3 different cars taking 3 different lines.
That was just a lick the stamp and send it moment for the 48. Kind of deja vu there, seeing double with the Exalta cars.
Hensley moves across the line as he actually put the grass, trying to just gain some time over the 48, and again was able to do so by just a splitter.
Yeah, and I don't believe the 24 and
no,
48
they're not.
Are...
Yeah, it's kind of funny because they run Hendrick schemes, but they're not teammates. The 48 and the 88 are teammates, and the 46 and the 24 are teammates.
He just sent it here.
Overkicked by a bit. You see Bressi there, Ike out ahead, and just to the inside, Hensley gets him.
All right, well, what a way to finish the race here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It was a wild one here. Take a look at your race results. Daniel Roeper, Tyler Sifford, Bressi, Hensley, Massey, your top 5. So Nick ended up with the top 5 after all that. So not a bad finish for him, just quite a wild moment there in that 48 car on the last lap. And then 6th and 7th, those are the last cars on the lead lap. The rest of the results scrolling on the left-hand side of the screen. Blevins, Finlayson, Shu, LaPrade, Matthew, Terry, and Stafford, Tabor, Adams all wrecked out. A lot of attrition, especially late in the going there. But that is that, and we'll be back in just a moment with interviews. Stay with us. Welcome back live here to Sim TV. We're here with race winner Daniel Roeper, and we're getting real used to saying that here at Sim TV. Daniel, this one was not easy tonight. You had to fight back after getting put back on after getting an EOL from pitting while the pits were closed, and you did that very nicely and ended up winning without a scratch on the cars. There was quite some carnage behind you. So walk us through that race, especially that second run.
Yeah, it was a pretty good race. I did that. I did that pitting and getting the penalty on purpose, actually, because I was hoping the race was going to go green from there. And if I would have gotten a penalty and just gone to the end and then topped off under caution, I was hoping people wouldn't notice that I was stopping again to try to stretch the fuel, so I could run hard to the next run. But I ended up having a caution anyway. But it was a good race. Had good battles getting back up through the field, and yeah, glad to get another one here.
One thing that we noticed that was absolutely shocking to us in the booth here tonight was the way that this track was racing. I mean, granted, you were out front a lot of the time, but I'm sure you had to see a lot of that second run. This track looked like a restrictor plate race tonight. What was causing that?
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, you could catch someone. You could be like 2/10 quicker than someone for a whole run, and you know, you get to them, and you really had to wait until they burned their stuff off to be able to pass them. And you know, you could get the thing where some guy would be a little slower in front, and they would just freight train a bunch of guys behind. It was an interesting setup for sure. You know, Kyle did some laps with me, and you know, the practice beforehand, it was definitely not the best driving car, but you know, made the best of it, and glad to get the win here.
All right, next week we head to the road course, the Charlotte Roval, and obviously road course is kind of few and far between here in Hardline. So is that something you've circled as an exciting challenge, or is that something you're not looking forward to?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I know Bressy's quite good on the road stuff as well, and looking forward to giving him a run for his money next week.
All right, well, thanks for talking to us, Daniel, and congrats again on another solid victory here tonight.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.
You too. All right, now we're going to talk to second place driver Tyler Sifford, the number 98. Tyler, great race for you this week, and not a bad one either last week until the contact with Josh Adams late at ISM Raceway, but you overcome all that and finished second tonight. But it was an up and down night, and there was lots of what I would call pack style racing, and it was kind of entertaining out there from our perspective. How was it from yours?
Oh, it was great. I mean, it was definitely exciting, you know, that going or to the after that stage, you know, I had it planned out with Roper. You know, we were doing a pit strategy together, and when we got that was EOL, you know, having to drive up through the field and try and save fuel at the same time, it's really hard, especially when you're seeing a bunch of guys go side by side. You know, if one misses the bottom line by just an inch or two, the nose is going to shove right up the racetrack. So, I mean, it was definitely fun tonight. It definitely felt like, you know, a Daytona or a Talladega type of race, which is always kind of fun. But at the same time, you're always got to look out for what's happening around you.
All right, next week we head to the road course configuration, the Charlotte Roval. And I asked Roper the same thing. Is this something that you've circled and you're excited for, or is it something you're kind of dreading a little bit?
Oh, it's definitely something I've circled that I'm excited for, but also a little bit worrying about. You know, I'm not the best one at road courses, and for me, it's all going to be about riding for maybe the first half, if not a little bit going in the second half of the race, just trying to figure out, you know, my strong points, my weak points in the racetrack, just to figure out what I need to enhance on. But we're definitely going to practice a little bit and try and catch up on those lap times and get a little bit better.
All right, well, thanks a lot for talking to us, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. And I'd like to thank High Performance Motorsports and all the sponsors tonight, you know, and we'll see y'all next week.
All right, thanks a lot, Tyler. Have a good one.
You too, buddy.
All right, next we're going to talk to third place driver Thomas Bressi in the number 24 car. And Thomas, that was very exciting a lot of the night. You were battling with Nick Massey, and wow, I mean, you guys were like magnets glued to each other, but somehow managed to come out third and fifth in the race. But just walk us through those battles side by side for so many laps.
Yeah, that's what we were actually just talking about before you brought me in here. But yeah, we were having a lot of fun all night battling each other. I think he was. I mean, I think it was pretty clear he was faster than I was, but that just having that top, like the outside, was really helpful in trying to kind of maintain position and stuff. And that's kind of what ended up, I think, helping me more than anything. I probably could have been faster. I don't know. I was just making silly mistakes and I couldn't really get into a really good solid rhythm. Had I gotten into a better rhythm, I probably could have gotten second. I don't know if I had anything for the one though, but he was hooked up, and I don't know how he was going that fast. He was moving, but yeah, I mean, it was just really hard to, really get like perfect positioning on the bottom lane to, if to try and complete a pass down there. But I was just able to get into the corner, I think, a little bit better than him, which is why I was able to, even if he was most of the way clear of me, I was able to kind of hang it up there. But I mean, like Nick, Tyler, and we were all talking. That was probably the most fun we've ever had racing for a third. But I had a blast. Wish we could have done a little bit better, at least for the point standings wise. But we got the Roval next week, so hopefully we can get some of that back. But I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, speaking of the Roval next week, obviously that's a track that you've got to have circled. Is that for you a must-win racetrack with how consistent Roper is at the intermediates?
100%. Yeah. I mean, I know he's good anyways on the road courses. Just, I mean, he's raced Formula 3 in real life, so that should tell you something. But I know I've got to be pretty much flawless next week. I have to win. I mean, and I don't like going into road course races expecting to not win. That's just, the mentality I kind of have, whether it's ignorance or whatever. But I want to make sure I run well there. Especially with the 24. I mean, that feels like a number that should run well there, but at the road courses. But yeah, I definitely have next week circled. I'm looking forward to Pocono, looking forward to Martinsville, looking forward to Atlanta. Just question mark is how good is he going to be and everybody else. So everyone's, I mean, it's going to be tight. So we'll see.
All right, Thomas. Well, thanks for talking to us again, and congratulations. Another top 3 finish for you. It's been a good couple weeks. We'll see you later.
See you guys.
All right, next we're going to talk to, looks like it's going to be 4th place driver Tyler Hensley, driver the number 46 Camaro. And Tyler, we were just talking to Thomas Bresci about all that chaos that was around really him and you and Massey, and that was some fantastic stuff. But at the end there, that was just a lick the stamp and send it moment for Massey, and you ended up coming out in 4th place. Talk us through that.
Yeah, I mean, that was a lot of fun. Tonight was weird for me. I had speed for probably a solid 20 laps, and I didn't feel like I was driving the car that hard, and I just fought tight the entire night. No matter what I did as far as brake bias or approaching the corner differently, I just couldn't get any turn out of it. As far as those few runs there where I was with Bresci and Massey, I told them that was some of the most fun I've had racing for 3rd, 4th, 5th place, just in that area. Honestly, the best racing I've had in a while. And there's a few times I didn't like the incident. I think it was lap 113, 114. I got into Massey in the center of 1 and 2. I knew I was going to get close, but I didn't think I was going to touch him. And I guess I got him a little bit harder than I thought, and almost sent him around. And as far as the last lap, I saw him trying the old Carl Edwards, dive bomb, slide job, whatever you want to call it, on Bresci. And I had already committed to the top, so I didn't know how that was all going to play out. And coming to the stripe, I clipped the grass because I wanted to get as far down as I could so he didn't have an opportunity to side draft, and he never came down, so I kind of felt like an idiot for that, but it looked cool.
Certainly did look cool, and obviously, Tyler, that was a blast to watch, and congratulations on a solid top 5 finish, and we'll see you battling on the road course next week.
Hey, thanks again. Thank you guys for coming out and doing this. We really appreciate it.
No problem, Tyler. We'll see you later. All right, and last but not least, we're going to talk to Nick Massey, driver of the number 48 car, that beautifully painted, I must add, Lowe's Camaro. And Nick, that was some insane racing, and coming down to the last lap, you certainly gave it your all, I'll give you that, but last lap dive bomb maneuver down in turn 3 didn't quite pan out for you, and you came home P5. Walk us through those last couple laps.
Yeah, it's pretty much racing Bresci the whole night. I feel like I was, had the speed to be probably a top 2 car, but I just couldn't get by Bresci. It was just so hard to pass because you needed the top to pass, and I just couldn't get it on him. He was just running, the top, and I couldn't get to his outside. I tried everything, I tried moving off the track. That didn't work. I tried everything I could. And then tried to do that slide job on the last lap there, but I just kind of drove it in way too deep, and I couldn't get back to the gas, and he was able to cross me over. And then Hensley got by me too, but it was a lot of fun. It was a blast racing, probably the most fun I've had racing for anything other than a win. So props to Bressie and Hensley too. That was a lot of fun racing with those guys back there.
It was certainly a lot of fun. One of the things we noticed, Nick, was how much it looked like, and Finn and I were saying, it kind of looks like what we expect the 2019 NASCAR rules package to race like. It seemed like it was tightly grouped, kind of pack racing almost. And do you think it was the setup, the conditions, the drivers? What kind of led to that kind of racing? Because it was different from anything we've ever seen before on SimTV.
I honestly don't know. I think it was a mix of kind of just like the setup too, because it was tight, and so like some drivers would take off better, and then once a tire started to wear a little bit, is where other people would come forward. So you kind of have a lot of racing guys going back and forward. So I think that had something to do with it, maybe. But it was definitely a lot of fun. So I hope more mile and a half become like this last.
It was a lot of fun, Nick. Well, thanks for talking to us, and congrats on a solid top 5 finish. We'll see you next week on the road course. Thanks, Nick.
Hey, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
You too. All right, that concludes our interviews here tonight. Finian, what a race. That was spectacular.
Yeah, some fantastic racing. I don't think anything that anyone would have expected going in to a Cup race at Charlotte. Wouldn't have expected to see racing as tight as that and as close as that for that long. I mean, we saw drivers 2x2 wide, 2x2x2 wide, 3x2, like every single
all the matrices of wide.
Yeah, it was a fantastic racing all night long from everyone, just going at it in some extremely hard racing. I mean, I was looking at that graphic you had earlier up. I think only 3 cautions came out.
3 cautions for 12 laps, 10 lead changes.
Yeah, and there's some fantastic racing up towards the front of the field, especially at the end there.
All right, next week for Hardline, next Friday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be at the Charlotte Roval. We'll be hopping curbs and hitting jumps over there in the bus stop on the back straightaway. What's coming up next on SimTV tomorrow night? It's going to be virtual racing league series action. It's going to be from Auto Club Speedway. It's round 3 of the chase. We're coming off of round 2 at Darlington last week, the fun throwback night, where we're heading to something much, much different, much, much wider, and hopefully just as action-packed at Auto Club in Fontana, California. Then we're off until Tuesday, and we've got the Track Midwest Cup Series returning with MX-5s at Lime Rock Park. That's almost thrown back to the Rookie Series, but it's not going to be rookie driving. Let me tell you, those guys are talented, and we're going to have over 60 cars entered in that race. So be there on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we're back with the WDCR SCCA Virtual Mars group of drivers. They're adding the Kia to the lineup this season. So it'll be the Kia, the Mustang, and the MX-5 will be starting at, I believe it's Watkins Glen first week on Wednesday. So we'll be at Watkins Glen Boot, and we'll see you there on Wednesday. See you later, and have a great night. Thanks for watching.